Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for another daily dose of dismal Disney. It seems like we've had a lot of doses
It's every day.
dismal Disney lately. We're going to talk about a new study that Disney families are going into debt going to these theme parks because everything's so expensive. 45% of families with children that visit Disney parks go into debt to do it. So you max out your credit cards to go see Mickey.
Yeah, pretty much. Basically what the study is basically said that if you don't have kids, it's like lower. It's like 24%. But those who have any, they said children under 18, which is the definition of children, for the most part, they 45% of the people. And it's gotten worse in the past couple of years than it was just 2 years ago.
Well, yeah, all the prices have gone up. We're going to talk about that. And, Disney doing some gouging. But we're going to talk about their stock dropping too. Their stock is under $100 now. And what this is telling me, because they're actually saying that Inside Out 2 is going to do pretty good this weekend. But this is right after Nelson Peltz, dumped a bunch of his stock. And I think that...
Well, not right after. I think he did his right after the
vote. Months. But I think people are catching on. They're like, yeah, Disney really doesn't have much going for them now. They really don't. They might have a couple of movies that do okay. I think Inside Out 2, again, people are saying is going to do pretty good. I think Deadpool is going to do good. Later this year, Moana will probably make money because it's Moana. But that being said, like, their theme parks are very lackluster.
Oh, yeah, the new Communicore Plaza and Hall is just a joke.
Yeah.
And how many years? How many years are those damn walls up, guys? How many years have we been waiting for this big reveal? And it looks like, someone made the joke you had, like they were walking down the Utilidors. Oh. Yeah, this sums it up. It looks about like this, yes.
Pretty much. It's very bare bones. It's very cheap. It looks a lot like their recent hotel refurbishments. It looks like, a lot of their entertainment lately has been very budget cut. People are making comments about how budget cut their entertainment looks. And then you compare it to Universal, and Universal's going like all out for Epic Universe, and Disney's just kind of definitely, working within budgetary constraints. So I don't know. They're talking D23 that they might announce another park. I'm like, I don't see it happening because I don't think they want to spend that kind of money. But if they do, I wouldn't expect much.
No,
I would not expect much.
I wouldn't either.
So let's talk about all this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
So where do we want to go with this? We want to talk about the
we can go to the Lenning Tree article first. Talk about what they found there. We'll talk about the food prices. So they did a survey, I guess. And according to the latest Lenning Tree survey of over 2,000 U.S. consumers, 24% of Disney goers have gone into debt for a trip. The figure rises to 45% if you have parents with children under 18. All right. So the key findings, we just have to talk about the key findings for the most part. They said among the 77% of theme park going parents with children younger than 18 who've been to Disney, 45% have gone to debt for a Disney trip, 83% acquiring it most recently in the past 5 years. And among Disney goers, 24% have gone into debt for a trip, a 33% increase from 18% 2 years ago in 2022.
Wow.
So it's going up.
Oh, wow.
They said that parents do it because, it's for a treat and they don't regret it. But the average is about $2,000 in Disney-related debt. Probably when you get to the parks, you put a bunch of stuff in your cards.
Yeah, they make it so easy now because everything's tied into your magic band. You're just like, just go to the store and say, yep, just wave that magic band in, and then you get this like ridiculous bill at the end. You're like, oh my God, we spent $7,000.
What broke people, and this is kind of ties into something else we're going to talk about in a little bit, is the cost for food was significantly more than they anticipated.
Yeah.
65% with Disney debt said the in-park food and beverages made up most of it. 48% said general transportation, and 47% said accommodations. 41% of Disney park goers were able to use a discount on their most recent trip. Well, there's lots of discounts, quote unquote, discounts at Disney.
Quote unquote, yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean anything. Actually, if you go out to you don't have to do it right now, but Pirates and Princesses, I actually have a list. Now it's from 2020, so it probably could be updated, but different ways you can save money to go. You can do different things ahead of time to plan for this. For example, there's menus, restaurant menus, and the different restaurants you can eat at the parks on each of the Disney World and Disneyland sites. You can go in there and be like, I'm going to be in this theme park that day. Here are the restaurants that are available to me. Where would my family eat? Okay. And this is what I'm seeing the prices of the food's going to be. So I'm going to figure that is my cost of my food plus tax. And then whatever you figure out for that, add more money to it.
Oh, yeah.
Because inevitably someone's going to want to drink and they're going to have to pay $5 for a little bottle of pop, so, or soda, depending on where you are.
6 or 7 if you want a thermal detonator Coke
that are tiny, like a few sips and you drank it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Florida's hot. So you're going to be wanting to drink a lot. But there's ways you can plan ahead and be prepared for this. But like, you can pull this other one up. We'll come back to this. Yeah. They said in the past 10 years, Disney food prices have soared 61%.
Oh, I believe it. And they were expensive before, but I mean, it used to be that, God, I just can't believe it. Like when we first started going to Disney as a family, you could go, a family of 4, you could go for under $3,000 if you drive down and you'd stay at a value resort and you kind of watch your spend. And, we had little kids, so they weren't eating a whole lot.
Well, a lot of food, even as an adult, because it's so hot down there, you don't want to eat a whole lot anyway. And they're big enough things that you can cut in half and share a meal, and you're good for a while. We've done that several times.
Yeah.
As adults. So.
Yeah. And it's, definitely. You should be. I mean, some people go down there to eat. I don't think the food most places is that fantastic compared to, other restaurants, right outside of Disney. It's so weird though too, because you get in that Disney bubble and you're like, only $5 for a Coke. Wow, that's a bargain. And then
it is, yeah.
Once you leave Disney, you're like, oh my God, they want $5 for a 6-pack of Coke. That's high. That's
a good deal on a 6-pack Coke right now, man.
Yeah, right. I remember when it was like $3.
Well, just soda in general. Like, let me think. Okay, even a year ago, it was like $3 for something for a 6-pack, and now it's like $6 or $7. I mean, depending where you are. I'm sure other places it's much more. But they said, okay, so Disney World in Florida food prices have skyrocketed 61% over the past decade, nearly twice the rate of inflation.
Oh, yeah.
The cost of tickets have spiked an average of 56% over the past 10 years. But it's inflated the price of popular treats like corn dog nuggets and ice cream bars that has caused more than just stomachs to grumble. The most egregious increase can be found at Sanaa, according to Finance Buzz. The cost of 10 iconic menu items is, over the past decade, what is it?
Let's see here. Let's go see how prices have changed. Key findings.
Oh, here we go. Oh, the bread service. Yes.
Oh, is that
120%?
Okay. Holy
This is
God.
interesting. So yeah, we have a look here. So theme park low end 21% increase. Mickey waffle 30% increase. The actual inflation should be 31%. Okay. Turkey leg or hot dog, 39% increase. Mickey pretzel, 42%. Epcot fish and chips, 50%. And the Epcot fish and chips were good.
That was one of the few good deals. Like, I'm thinking back like 10 years ago, but you could get for under $10, you could get, pretty good portion that you could split. You could just get 2 fish and chips. I'm
noticing these are the iconic things. Like the turkey leg, the Mickey pretzel, the fish and chips are very iconic. Churro, 54%. Dole Whip, one of the big treats, 58%. Mickey ice cream bar, 63%. The park tickets high end, 91% increase because they started splitting them by the date.
Yes.
Corn dog nuggets, 116% increase because they're very popular. And the bread service, 120%.
Yeah, bread service went from $9.99 to $22. $22. Like
the corn dog nuggets were $5 or $10.79.
Like I've gotten the falafel over there, and it was under $10, I think, too. But it's been a number of years. I mean, it's just insane.
Well, it's been since 2014.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there thinking, like, again, not to bring Universal into it, but I know when I took the kids to Halloween Horror Nights, it was like 2 years ago. The food prices actually kind of floored us because they were so cheap compared to Disney's. Like the hotel, like we got a whole pizza for like $8 or $9. I was like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the prices of the food has just, been incredibly high. Go back to the other article. What else are they saying on here? Oh yeah, the Sanaa, but they're talking about how it got. Yeah, they had the prices there.
Corn dog nuggets. It's all the iconic food. This is all the.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the ones you expect.
Instagrammable food. All
this. The bread service is a bit weird. It's bread service.
Really
so yeah, Mickey waffles has risen 30%. Was $5. Now it's $6.50 today.
Wow.
And that'll be part of it is food prices have increased. Let's be honest here, over the years. That is, to be fair, that's true. That the food has increased in general, so you can expect an increase. But this stuff exceeds the increase of the normal inflation.
This is not worth $22. I'm sorry.
No.
I'm sorry. It's not worth $22, but
that's not worth $10.
Corn dog nuggets. 20. Well, I mean, yeah, like they're
116% higher.
God, I mean, you're talking about $17 hamburgers at the quick service now. $17 for
$17 for a burger at the quick service?
Yeah.
That's insane.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, they're big burgers, and sometimes you can share them, but watch it, and they're probably small now, so you can't share them.
Oh, they're shit. The quick service burgers are like school cafeteria burgers.
They're
not good.
So go back to the Lending Tree survey. So yeah, the other thing they said, if you go down some, we'll come back up to that in a minute. Come down a little more. Go down a little more. Okay, this is interesting. They said that about the group that went into debt. They said that Gen Zs are the 18 to 27-year-olds are the most likely to take on Disney debt at 39%, compared with millennials at 36%, Gen Xers at 20%, and 7% of baby boomers. Now, to be fair, they're usually correlated. The older you get, the more money you usually have.
That's what I was going to say. They're not making as much money. Yeah.
You have to put it in context, which is, when you get older, you're going to have more money. And people that are younger, like the Gen Zs and some of the millennials, are probably going to have little kids. So their expenses are higher than somebody that's a baby boomer and is just themselves, What I found interesting was, and I think there's a reason for this too. Additionally, men who've been to a Disney park, 32%, are twice as likely as women, 16%, to take on related debt. No, I think, and that sounds, people are like, you're sexist. No, what I think this is about is the head of the household, usually a dude, and usually he's the one that puts on his card.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think you're going to find these, they're talking about families with children, and that's a big percentage. Then these are probably, people that usually married or together in some way. And usually the guy is the one that's usually in his name. Not always, because, I mean, when we go, I'm the one with the Disney card.
You're the one with the Disney card. You get the points. So,
it depends. But a lot of times when you have families and little kids and stuff, usually, it's probably under the dad's name for the reservation and that kind of stuff. So that's probably what they're going by. But that was interesting to me that they're doing that. They said, for those who don't visit theme parks or Disney parks, they said the cost is the biggest factor, because only 25% of the people all the people they talk to have not visited Disney. Okay. 60% of those who have never visited a theme park say it's too expensive and they won't go. 31% say it's too far away, and 26% say they can't stand the lines. Well, those 26%, the lines are terrible. Well, anymore, they're kind of slowing down at the parks, but the lines can be, and it's so complicated at Disney parks. Everything's so damn complicated. You need like a class on logistics just to do a Disney trip at this point in time. And then, interestingly enough, across all of Americans, 40% say their willingness to visit Disney has been affected by political views, positive or negatively. My money's on a negatively.
That is weird for them to come out and say that. And this is coming from Lending Tree. This is not like Breitbart or anything. It said, I didn't catch that. They said it's been affected by political views. Yeah. So I think that's it. I think a lot of people are not. So it's going to be interesting to see where, people on the left are politically with Disney, because now that they're kissing up to DeSantis and they're getting what they want and they're going to spend more money. But it also seems like they're kind of reining it in with,
Disney started giving money, but Disney started giving money back to people who voted for the, parental rights education bill.
Oh,
they're starting to give money to all the politicians again, like they always have.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people who are pissed about that.
Yeah. But I think that, there are a lot of people that aren't going to Disney because they think that Disney is the reason that society is collapsing, and at least entertainment, they've been very, very vocal about their politics and entertainment. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know, guys. It's expensive. I don't even know what to say. We used to go all the time. We had annual passes, and granted, I am a little soured on Disney because of their bullshit. Yeah, it's not necessarily even political. It's just the corporate bullshit. But, to go into debt for it, I think is really stupid. I think
when I was a kid, we used to save up, like my parents, we're going to go in like a year. We're going to go in 2 years. And they'd start saving up. They'd do vacation clubs, and they'd do And we had a giant. Okay, my parents had a. I think I've told this story before, but they have a big spiral staircase in the living room, but it's a metal frame. All right, and the pole was hollow. So they used to put like a little cap on the top with like a little slit, and they'd put money, like dollars, bills, coins and stuff in there. And then when we get close to the trip, they'd get at the bottom. There was a little hole that my dad would plug up with like silicone. They'd pull the little thing off, and then they would just pull all the money out. And we'd have all kinds of money. We all sit there and count the money, and we'd have money for go on our vacation because that pole was really tall, and they'd fill it, to go. So we did that. Like it would be like people doing a money jar. There's so many different things we would do. We have garage sales. We do different things so we can make money to go, so we wouldn't go into debt. And it wasn't like hurting us there was money you weren't expecting every month, so you didn't feel like you were losing anything.
Right.
And it wasn't as tight. Now, granted, the inflation at Disney was not as ridiculous as it is now. But there are things you can do to save money and mitigate the impact to your finances daily if you really want to go. Because I understand people want to go, and I understand kids want to go because I always went. And I'm not going to fault anybody for taking their kids to Disney because Disney has its faults, but the cast members and the parks are amazing. For the most part, they're starting to cheap out, as we've seen with Epcot. But they are great. It's a great experience, especially if you have kids. And it's a memorable one. And I can understand why people want to do it at least once. I can completely understand it. But it is really, really expensive. But there are ways that you can get deals or things you can do to plan ahead to mitigate this. Some people already go into it knowing they're going to have a big expense and put it on their cards anyway, and that might work for them. But it doesn't surprise me people have to go into debt. I think it's going to get worse and worse because Disney's not lowering prices.
Yeah, they're not going to. As long as people keep spending, they're not going to. Now, what might actually work to your advantage, I think, is when Universal opens Epic Universe. All those kids are going to want to go see Nintendo. They're going to want to go see Mario. Disney's going to have all kinds of discounts to lure people over to Disney World because I think a lot of people are going to plan their trips around Nintendo.
Flip side is they're going to go down to Universal and just hit Disney while they're there.
Yeah.
So they're still going to get people probably for that reason. We'll just do them both,
But they might not stay at the hotels at Disney. They might stay at Universal.
Yeah, you can stay down there and it's cheaper.
And just drive over or just take an
I would
Uber
recommend too if you don't want to pay in-park hotels. Now, I personally love in-park hotels because I think they're easier. But they have good neighbor hotels that are, at Disney Springs that are considerably cheaper. Like this big suite at one of the good neighbor hotels is a fraction of what you'd pay at like a family suite at one of the in-park hotels. So, and it's a lot of times nicer. So there's that you can always do too. Yeah.
Yep. So there are ways to save, but I think going into debt's really, really stupid.
So they're saying the average trip is $5,000 to $6,000, for a family of four.
I can believe it. That actually seems low.
I thought so too. But if you want to do a lot, it's about it can run you 10. I don't know if that even counts flights. That's just like I don't know if that counts flights or not.
So you could buy a car, buy a used car, or you can buy
pay for a semester of college.
Yeah. It's not cheap, guys. So there we go. We're gonna wrap this up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.